all about ABA. I'm a BCBA.
And I'm a BCABA.
And we're millennials in ABA. Today we're going to be talking about how to become a BCBA or a BCABA. All of the information that we will be talking about today can be found on the board's website at BCB.com. We'll link it down below in the description.
So all of the steps to becoming a BCABA and a BCBA are actually generally the same.
Starting with step 1, a degree. That's all you need.
Step 2, you have to do coursework.
Step 3, you need supervised experience.
Step 4, you take the certification exam and you pass.
So we're going to go a little bit more into detail, kind of like what are the qualifications for the degrees and the requirements for the experience.
And how they differ between a BCABA and a BCBA.
Exactly. For a BCBA, your degree must come from a qualifying institution, meaning it's an accredited college or university. You must have a graduate degree, master's or doctoral, in either applied behavior analysis, education, or psychology.
If you want to be a BCABA, you must have a bachelor's degree from a qualifying institution. Your bachelor's degree can come from any program, so there's no specific program that you have to get your degree in. You just need a bachelor's and you're good.
For a BCBA, required coursework includes that it was taken at a qualifying institution, that it was performed at a graduate level, and from the qualifying institution at which you were enrolled, that it was taken for academic credit, that it also reflects you received a passing grade, meaning a C or better, and that it covers the required content outlined in the BACB's task list and coursework requirements. The BCBA coursework consists of 270 classroom hours of graduate level instruction in the following content: ethical and professional conduct, concepts and principles of behavior analysis, research methods in behavior analysis, applied behavioral analysis, and discretionary.
For BCABAs, you must complete coursework in the same exact areas that were just listed. However, there are less hours that you have to complete. So for a BCABA, you must complete 180 coursework hours rather than the 270 for a BCBA.
In regards to your supervised experience, the first step would be to find a supervisor. There are specific supervisor requirements. 1, it must be a BCBA or a BCBA-D who is active. In addition, it can be a licensed or registered psychologist certified by the American Board of Professional Psychology in behavioral and cognitive psychology who was tested in ABA. Or it could be an authorized verified course sequence instructor who is providing supervision in a practicum or an intensive practicum. This supervisor must also hold an 8-hour training certificate in order to start providing supervision.
So there are a few things you need to consider when selecting a supervisor. The supervisor may not be related to, subordinate to, or employed by the trainee during the experience period. So that means that your supervisor can't be your mom, it can't be your sister, it can't be your cousin, it can't be your employee if you are owning a business, and it just can't be anyone that's under you in your work hierarchy in general. So let's talk about the structure of supervision. Supervision should consist of one-on-one interaction between the supervisor and the supervisee, but group supervision is allowed as well. However, there are some restrictions with group supervision. Group supervision may not exceed the amount of individual supervision in a given supervision period. This means that you have to have at least as much or more individual supervision than group supervision in a given supervisory period, which is 1 month.
Your group meeting can't exceed 10 people either. It doesn't matter how many BCBAs are there, how many RBTs, the limit is 10. Whether you're becoming a BCABA or a BCBA, if you're getting supervised experience, you need to have a supervision contract before getting any hours counting towards your indirect or direct or anything like that. The supervision contract is between the trainee and supervisor. The purpose of the contract is to protect all involved parties and align experience activities with the purpose of supervision. The contract will include some of the following: the responsibilities of the supervisor and trainee, a description of the appropriate activities and training objectives, the objective and measurable circumstances under which the supervisor will not sign the trainee's monthly and final experience verification forms, and the consequence if the parties do not adhere to their responsibilities, a statement requiring the trainee to obtain written permission from the trainees on site, an attestation that both parties will adhere to the code. In my own supervision contracts, I also like to include what is an acceptable time period to allow the other party to know when you will no longer be engaged in the supervisory relationship, whether you're the supervisor or the supervisee, just identifying whether it's 14 days, a month, and also via like what method would you let this person know, whether it's like email, whether it has to be like written, or if it has to be in person. So, just a quick overview. In general, in order to start accruing hours, you need to 1, find a supervisor, 2, sign a supervision contract, and 3, start your coursework.
There are 3 types of experience. So there's a supervised independent fieldwork, practicum, and intensive practicum. The main differences between these 3 experience types are the amount of hours you need to accrue, how much supervision that you need, and how many face-to-face meetings you need to have with your supervisor. For a BCABA who chose supervised independent fieldwork, you need to accrue 1,000 experience hours total. Under the supervised independent fieldwork, you need 5% of your hours supervised. And you also need to have 2 face-to-face meetings with your supervisor, and a minimum of 2 contacts with them over the supervision period.
So for a BCBA, the same 3 experiences are available. So supervised independent fieldwork, practicum, and intensive practicum. For a BCBA, supervised independent fieldwork, you need 1,500 hours. 5% of those hours must be supervised, and 2 of them must be observations with your clients, and then you must have at least 2 contacts with your supervisor throughout the supervisory period, which again is 1 month.
So next up is practicum. So for a BCABA, under a practicum, you're going to get 670 hours. Under the practicum, you need 7.5% of your hours supervised. You need to have a minimum of 4 contacts with your supervisor, and then a minimum of 4 observations with a client.
For a BCBA, it's very similar, 4 contacts, 4 observations. The only difference is that the number of hours that need to be accrued is 1,000, which is more than a BCABA, as well as the supervision hours stay the same. So 7.5% of your hours need to be supervised.
And finally, we have the intensive practicum. So for a BCABA, you have to get 500 hours accrued. This one includes the most amount of supervision, so you need at least 10% of your hours supervised. In addition, you need a minimum of 8 contacts with your supervisor and a minimum of 4 observations with a client.
For a BCBA, all of those things remain the same. 10% of your hours must be supervised, 8 contacts, and 4 observations with a client. The only difference is that your hours are 750 instead of the 500 that a BCABA would have to accrue. Whether you're a BCABA or a BCBA, if you're doing a practicum or an intensive practicum supervised experience, that means that you need to get a C or better in all of your courses in order for your hours to count.
All right, so now that we've covered the degree, the coursework, and the experience, all that's left to do is take the exam and pass.
And then you're a BCBA.
Or a BCABA.
Thank you so much for watching us today. And if you have any questions about becoming a BCBA or a BCABA, please leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn your bell notifications on so you stay up to date when we post. And we know we don't have a lot of content yet. We have a lot of good things coming, and we hope we can share them with you.
As always, stay on your best
or worst behavior.